Splitting Hairs Podcast.
Hello. Welcome to Friday Night Football. This is the Splitting Hairs Podcast. Got the crew together, just down Scotty tonight. Just Scotty. Sorry, we're on Stack's time tonight, a little BPT, so we're a little bit tardy, but we appreciate the patience because Stack was doing some important stuff. Stack, what were you up to? Let the people know.
Out here crushing this PT for the Indiana State Police. Got to show them how the Jacks get down.
That's right. Stack, you should arrest a lot of Boilermaker faithful because this year they have put together quite a paltry record. And so just so you know, that's what you should do.
I wish my jurisdiction was in Brookings. I'd have a few people arrest as well.
A little vindictive or just real talk?
I'll let you decide.
No comment.
What that was.
Before we get into more tomfoolery and all the goods, this episode, as well as all episodes of the Splitting Hairs Podcast, is presented by the Wild Hair Brookings, the place to watch the Jacks regular season finale as they head to Grand Forks to take on UND. If you're not making the trip north, the Wild Hair has you covered. Every screen, full sound, and a room full of Jackrabbit fans who show up when it matters. Daily happy hour runs 3 to 7 p.m. with all-day happy hour on Sundays and Tuesdays, plus $3 Wild Islands on Thursdays and $10 domestic and $22 seltzer buckets during every Jackrabbit football game. And don't you forget it's Fireball Friday. That's today. For the last game of the regular season, watch it with the people you care about and watch it with people who care about it as much as you. The Wild Hair Brookings, proud title sponsor of the Splitting Hairs Podcast. Love it, gentlemen. Let's do a little FBS'n. And kick things off here. It's been fun doing that, talking about some actual, reality ball.
Whoa.
There we go.
How do you – it doesn't let you do it with the –
That's what she
with us all in there.
That's what she said. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pause. So this is the slate of games that we got this week. There's some duds as it gets to as it gets into the late season. You got people like Charlotte going out to Athens, little tune-up game before they get into the conference championship season. Next slide here, we got the second one.
How about the Sanford Bulldogs going to A&M?
That's what I'm saying. Sanford, do you think the boys get it done? You think the Bulldogs, the old Sanford Bulldogs, get it done? Kevin, weigh in. What do you think?
He's on snooze time.
He's on snooze time because we're talking FBS, but that's how we're sprinkling in a little FCS. We're basically talking about this because of Sanford.
Is that Mercer?
Yeah.
Mercer going to Auburn. Mercer might get it done. Kevin, you think Mercer gets it done? He might. He's always been pretty high on Mercer. Mercer's going to Auburn. If Mercer upsets Auburn, Casey would lose her shit, right, Brian?
Oh, for sure. If Mercer loses or if Mercer beats Auburn, Stack will cut his dreads off.
I'm going to have to do that anyway.
You will. You heard it
Man
here
of the people.
first. Actually, Stack, do you have to get a haircut for Indiana State Patrol?
I do. I'll be getting that haircut in April, man.
All right.
Yes, sir, the high and tight.
Oh, yeah. Be looking like you.
Super trooper.
Can't wait to see it. That's right. All right. So
what about that Washington State James Madison game there, Kyle?
That's right. That's what I'm thinking. When I did the podcast with Couch CEO over there, the Wazoo faithful, the over-under on their season this year was 6, right? And you and I both thought maybe they would get to 8 wins. They probably should have beat Oregon State the first game. They just couldn't muster any type of offensive effort. I think that they're going to make it very competitive the way Bobbitt's got that defensive plan over in Virginia. What do you think?
No, for sure. I think even being down some injuries with Balloon, It's pretty cool seeing him come back, but their defensive line is getting after guys.
They are. And we could use a little bit of that, which we'll get into. But Balloon is back, huh?
No, I don't think so.
No, hey, I texted him last week. He's just rehabbing.
Yeah.
But,
I thought you said it's cool to see Balloon come back.
Coming back for like a 7th year.
Oh, really?
He got an additional year. Let's
Awesome.
go. Yeah, I hope he bounces back from injury and is able to make hay because he started off the year really well.
Yeah. No, another year of, FBS ball. And they'll have like the full Pac-12 then.
Yeah, that'll be
The
good.
modified Pac-12 with a little asterisk.
So,
But go ahead, Zach.
So he puts together a pretty good year out there. Get after the quarterback. You see Balloon, old Jack in an NFL helmet, possibly.
One might say ballooning himself into a draft pick.
Indeed.
And, man, let's take a quick gander over here. I don't think Eastern Illinois puts up any kind of fight, especially after the L Alabama took last week. They're going to be frothing at the bit.
You never know.
Any given Saturday, right? Well, let's look at this matchup over here in the old CUSA between a couple of formerly FCS foes. Missouri State, not so miserable anymore, 7-3, taking on Kennesaw State, the Fighting Owls, at First Bank and Trust Stadium out there. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Kind of crazy, man, seeing subpar teams relative to the Jacks making some hay, albeit in an easier conference, top to bottom. What are our thoughts on this matchup?
Did Missouri State ever finish above 7-3?
They had that one in the COVID year. We had that 3-way split because we got the Yips up in Grand Forks, which is a nice segue to what we'll talk about later. But Stack, that was the one little bit they had with the Fighting Petrinos back in the day.
Missouri State, I don't know. They're just like the definition of mid. Like, they were never like, I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I was going to say they were never horrible. They were horrible a lot, but
they had some talent, right? They always had some skill.
In terms of recruiting, dude, you're in a great place to recruit.
Yep. But they couldn't even recruit some of the top tier talent in their state. Shout out to Zay Davis doing his thing with the Jets. And then, not too many exciting other ones in that one. Let's get into Syracuse, Notre Dame. Fran Brown's kind of lost it there. We'll do a speed round here. South Florida, kind of a bummer. They're on the outside looking in terms of the at-large CFP from the G6. Arkansas, Texas. Does Texas get the ship righted?
Sure.
Michigan State, Iowa. Let's see Mark and the boys bounce back after a heartbreaker, back-to-back weeks, Oregon and then USC. They were up almost 20 points at half and couldn't get it done. Want to see what they do. They'll surely shut Sparty out at home, I would think, especially with the way that defense plays. Duke, North Carolina. Can the Fighting Bill Belichick's get 2 more wins and become bowl eligible? Time will tell. And then we go into some other matchups here.
Real quick, though, Fran Brown has the chance to do the funniest thing ever. Last year, whenever he got – who did he beat? He beat
Miami
to get Notre Dame in, right?
To get Clemson in.
No, Clemson wasn't in last year, were they?
No, not in the playoffs, but to get Clemson in the ACC championship game. That's why Dabo said he owes him.
So I think he's gonna. Yeah, if he beats Notre Dame again, he'll get Miami in.
that is the funniest thing. A little redemption.
Yeah, I seen some meme on it from ESPN. I'm gonna find it.
Hilarious. TCU's got to get off the schneid here. We watched them fall to a game that they pretty much controlled against Iowa State, albeit it was a sloppy game. And then they got the brakes blown off them last week in Provo against BYU, the Stormin' Mormons. Georgia Tech. This is probably the key one on this slate. The line is 2.5. Going to Georgia Tech at home in the ATL.
Give me the Fighting Cade Bells. That would be Pitt.
And just in case you guys are watching and listening and can't see it, Kevin will still not root for Furman, just so everybody knows. Kansas State. This could be interesting. If Kansas State's able to upend Utah and the Jacks get it done in Grand Forks, does that good loss look look even better for possibly 5 teams to get in the FCS. We'll see. Time will tell. Nebraska, Penn State. I'm hearing some rumblings, and maybe this week's game will be indicative of things to come. But the Bob Chaney talk going to Penn State is starting to pick up some steam. That'll be interesting to watch JMU and that outcome against Washington State, as well as the Nebraska game. Dayton Raiola decommitted this week from Nebraska. So I wonder what that says possibly about Matt Rule, although I believe he was extended. Was he extended, gentlemen? Do we know?
Yes, he was.
So he probably is not leaving. So Bob Chesney. Never know. And then the Fighting X down here. Getting to 8 wins in year 1. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, Coach X a baller. You got those
He knows
boys
how to
pretty
market.
inspired.
Exactly.
One and done at New Mexico or what?
Could
Market,
be.
have fun. He knows what he's doing out there, man. And then last but certainly not least, we have Illinois at Wisconsin. That'll be interesting. Can Illinois get to 8 wins as well? Cal, Stanford. Will the band be on the field in that one? Tennessee, Florida. Brian, you think the Gators are able to get one on the way out?
Hope so.
Are they going to make? Are they going to make a better push for Lane? Obviously, they put up a fight last week, but are they going to make a push for Lane? Ole Miss is set to make an announcement after the Egg Bowl this week.
Let's go. Florida's definitely got to get them right for sure.
I think so.
LSU's making a hard push though. But fun fact:
Exactly.
the Sunday after that game, the volleyball team at Florida canceled their game. So what else would you need a large venue for other than making an announcement?
Ooh, you heard it here first on the Splitting Hairs podcast. There could be a large announcement coming. Is Urban Meyer going back to Florida?
Just
Washington,
give Spurrier
UCLA.
the game back. Let
There you
him
go.
call.
That would be epic. BYU Cincy. This is a little talked about game. BYU is only getting 2.5 at Cincy. That could be interesting and have implications for the CFP and the Big 12. So all eyes on that. Here's a quick gander at the FBS top 25. Of course, you got Ohio State. I don't think the Fighting Matt Patricias are going to allow much of anything this year, man. I think that they are the heavy favorite going into the CFP. Although Oregon last year was the reigning number 1, and we saw what happened to them. So anything can happen on any given Saturday. Indiana. Is it an inevitable showdown with OSU coming up? We'll see. Texas A&M. Largest comeback in school history. Pretty prominent. Pretty exciting to see what they were able to do in South Carolina last week in Columbia. UGA, of course, they got Charlotte. Nothing too serious. Ole Miss, the Egg Bowl we talked about. Oregon, are they? They're playing USC this week. That should be fascinating. Nice little matchup. Does Lincoln Riley write the narrative that they were hoping for when they poached him from Norman, Oklahoma? We'll find out. Dan Lanning, does he stay put? We'll see. Texas Tech and the Fighting Joey Maguires, they are killing it. I would love to see Jacob Rodriguez win the Heisman. Gentlemen, have you followed that? That would be epic.
Best player in college football.
Agreed. I don't even think it's close this year, personally.
No, I mean, if there was a year for a defensive guy to actually win it, I think it would be this year.
And I've seen
there's nobody at QB that just wows you.
I've seen his numbers compared to Manti Te'o the other day, and he was beating him in most categories, or about the same.
And he's got 7 forced fumbles. That should not be unrecognized there. That should not be. And he scored a tud, and hopefully he scores another one here coming up this week. OU, gentlemen, OU is pretty solid, pretty shocking. Just goes to show you, what John Mateer has been able to do in providing just enough juice for that program to get it done behind some good D and good special teams. You got Notre Dame. Obviously, Fran Brown has the opportunity to do the unthinkable, get Miami in. Alabama, again, can an FCS squad get it done? We'll see. BYU, we talked about that. I think they got a test with Cincy. Vandy will be interesting. They got 1 week before they play Tennessee. Are they looking ahead? Will they stumble? It's pretty incredible to see them in the top 12. And then you got Utah doing what they do, just showing up in the top 25. Miami's in at 14. Georgia Tech. Obviously, Georgia Tech has a interesting matchup this week. USC, we talked about it with Oregon. Texas needs to right the ship. Michigan, boring as hell. Can't believe they're sitting where they're sitting, especially after just barely eking it out at Wrigley Field against Northwestern. Virginia, can't believe that they're 9-2 overall, man. That's pretty crazy, especially given Washington State dictating most of their game. Tennessee, pretty shocking to see them at 7-3 in the top 25, but they just keep getting it done in one way or another, especially after turning over their quarterback, who seems like he might be on fraud alert out there at UCLA. And then JMU showing up in the top 25 at 21, the first of the G6 schools coming in at 21 who has an outside shot to get in the CFP. Then you have UNT, which we saw is quite the team actually at 9-1, only stubbing their toe to USF. Mizzou doing it all with a freshman quarterback. Pretty impressive all the same. Tulane, their coach thinks that they play like crap most of the time. Pretty hilarious soundbite coming out this week. But I understand where he's coming from. Sometimes it looks like they shouldn't be ranked at all, and he doesn't care about narratives, all that coach speak. But real talk, we appreciate it. And then Houston coming in at 8-2 overall. Pretty impressive. Men, that is the top 25. And boom, we are back. So that's a little FBS'n. That is our FBS'n segment here on Friday Night Football. Let's talk last week. What are our thoughts about last week's performance?
Being in the stands for that, had a few of the buddies come back. Me, Crockett, Big John, some former players. And put in perspective for you, this is Croc's first game back, I believe. Since he's had a daughter, him and his wife were there.
Shout out.
They were not there in the second quarter. And one thing we got to know is, guys, we got to be so not self-absorbed, but you have to care about what you put on film, right? And it shows that, in the second half, you guys lock in, you play well, for stretches, but you cannot play bad for an entire quarter because a team that's good is going to take advantage of that. Right. In the past, the Jacks have taken advantage of that. One game I like to think about is that Villanova game, right, Brian? They kind of had the Jacks stuck a little bit there, and then you make a mistake, and then the game's over. Right now compile that with 4 or 5 mistakes back to back to back, right? Not giving your defense really a chance to get out there and really put together a good drive. And a lot of it starts on special teams. That's from seeing it in person. That's what I kind of noticed. Illinois State's first drive, they're starting at the 40, right? Block punt, and it just snowballed. And it seemed to me, right, they went in the locker room and collected themselves, and they came out and played. Guys, we got to do that off rip, off the jump. That's where we need to be playing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what great teams do. Great teams don't have mental lapses, right? Why didn't we win national championships when I was there? Because it would be a game where it's you and I, you drop that. So you're not, you're on the same side as North Dakota State or,
Southern Illinois.
Yeah, Southern Illinois. National championships were playing where the one we played in. And there's a couple quarters where we just let stuff slide or that last drive, guys aren't in the right position, right? So you have to eliminate mistakes. They are not little mistakes, guys. No mistake is a little mistake. And I don't know, who's the guy that's, whether it's in the locker room or on the coaching staff, saying that this is unacceptable, right? Because we all know when we were playing there, little mistakes, you'll probably be thinking bro, it's not a big deal. I just got reached, right? Why are you tripping like this? But when your coach is on everything like that, that's what produces great players in and out. Because you're going to feel weird if you get reached, Like, you're going to go to sideline like, dang, I just got reached. So that's my take on the bad play.
Dude, it's just like we've started slow down this 4-game stretch. I feel like that's the most consistent thing from the 4 games that we've dropped. And it's just like, what do we have to do? Because obviously whatever we're doing, that shit's not working. You know what I mean? So, like, how do we take the positive second half and replicate it to the first half? What do we have to do? I feel like that's what the coaches are paid for. So hopefully,
they looked really well, like in tempo stuff. Like, I don't know if that's something that we're gonna go to next week or tomorrow, right? Because like when we got in tempo, I felt like Jack seemed very comfortable, right? Like he wasn't under a lot of stress, knew what his read was, went to it right away, and then that opens up the run game too, right? Like, and I think we have to be versatile to a degree because Jack's not Chase, right? And not to say he can't be a great quarterback, but like, hey, we're asking a lot of this dude. And again, right, I don't want to give him an excuse because you get paid to go here.
Yep.
So like when you out there on that field, big dog, I don't care about none of that freshman stuff. Like after 4 games, you're not a freshman no more, big dog.
Yeah.
You're just a starting quarterback, right? So we can't accept freshman mistakes. Or like when I'm, looking at that screen, I got to dirt that ball. And like, granted, the DN on that play, I watched it several times because like, in person, like I was like, dude, how do you throw that? That DN made a wonderful play. And he watched a lot of film.
He did. But also our offense is hella predictable in our first scripted plays. Right?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Like, it's so obvious you got a young quarterback. You want easy deliverable balls early. And I'm so sick of the predictability of the tunnel screen, the bubble screen, the, inside power doesn't work, mid zone doesn't work, whatever. And just there's this like this level of predictability has to change. Like, I know Coach E is so creative in his scheme. And I know you guys said there's some positive things done in the second half. Of course there was, but I almost think you got to flush that because one, Illinois State's playing a totally different game. Their strategy changes. They're not even so much letting off the gas, but they're just keeping everything underneath them. They're letting us chip away. And so obviously, the wall cross, as we used to call it, that middle tight end pass is going to be open all day. Right. And you look at the yards per play, they're drastically low, albeit he threw for like 46 attempts. So that's because they're allowing him to take that stuff. It's a confidence builder for Jack. At the same time, you can't really, scheme that into the upcoming week, given it's going to be a completely different complexion of the game to start. To rewind a little bit, I think, a lot of this is going to fall on Coach Jackson's shoulders in terms of, did you get the boys ready to play this, that, and the other? Bottom line, man, it comes down to doing your job. If you can't catch a lob kick, that's on you and your focus. That's not on Coach Jackson, either one of the Coach Jacksons, because they coach it better than that, and that's just on them. Catching a punt snap, that's on you, brother. You have to focus in, catch the snap, get the kickoff, and you sure as hell can't allow yourself to get hurt on the play. So like a lot of this is going to come on to Coach Jackson, but the reality is these guys got to do their job when they're called upon to do it.
And Coach Jackson shouldn't have to get anybody ready to play.
Right.
We've had a player-led culture since forever. Whenever I came in, it was all player-led, right?
Brian,
so whatever senior captains that we have, if you guys are relying on Coach Jackson to get you ready to play, then we don't have a culture, okay?
Right.
It's flushed. Whatever, there's no more, this is somebody else's fault. Everybody has to look themselves in the mirror and be like, this is on you. You know what I mean? I mean, we can't just keep dodging and patting them on the back and this shit's okay. That shit's not okay. That shit's actually embarrassing.
Because Coach Jackson, and I watch his pressers, like post game, and then the Monday night one. Like, bro, this dude, like, he will fall on the sword for the play. Like, and he like loves these guys. He will fall on the sword for these guys, and he loves them. But like, as a player, when I see that, I should feel bad because I'm saying he's taking this hit so I don't have to. He's not telling these guys that I'm getting reached And that's why USD, or I'm not flowing with the down block. That's why USD gets just gashing us in the run
not
game.
spilling the run.
Right? And like, dude, if not for anything, do it for Coach Jackson, who's been going to bat for you all year against the media, catching all kinds of crap saying no when he says, oh, guys, that's on me. I need to be better. Bro, from, effort I see. And we, as a team, bro, excuses, we cannot have them, right? Like, if you're, let's say, like Cohen doesn't get to play, I don't care if you're the next linebacker up. Like, bro, here's your chance. Unless you're like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna sit behind him the rest of my career and just play a few games my senior year, and that'll be what it is. Like, no, bro, you have a chance to like make an impact. Look at Savion.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing behind.
I will say to your point, like I have seen the effort be there from some of these guys that are filling in, sometimes not. I'd like to see us fighting off blocks, especially in the red zone, a lot more, and not letting guys lay on you at the linebacker level. But at the same time, it does come down to, are we so depleted from the Rodgers turnover that this is what we have? I mean, this is a reality of it.
I mean,
I don't buy that.
I get the just one second. Sorry.
No,
I get the Rodgers aspect of it, and people are always going to be able to lay on that excuse, right?
It's a reality, though, too.
To some degree, yes. But we weren't using this excuse when we were 7-0 going into this 4-game stretch that we dropped down.
Great point.
And
Is the film different? Is the film different?
It is. Look at Montana State. The effort they played with. Like, it meant, like, you as a fan, go watch that game, right? Chase didn't win us that game. Lofton didn't win us that game. Effort as a whole team won them that game.
Not only effort, because those guys are giving effort. The execution and just the overall process of how it looked on tape.
I'll just tell the truth. I'll tell the truth. The effort from the secondary was completely different.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah,
I want to shout out real quick Cody Schilling's point here. Dan is awesome. He can recruit incredibly well and loves his programs. Loves the program. Some of these guys need to take a lesson from him and give it all for this team.
Bro, I was coached by Dan Jackson. I was there with him, right? So, like, I know how Coach Jackson gets down. And, like, he is an elite coach, or else he wouldn't have been where he was if he was not.
You don't go to the SEC if you're not elite.
Right? Like, he didn't get that job just for nothing. So, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, dude, Jimmy, he wouldn't. Like, no, dude, like, you have an elite coach, right? And like, I'm not gonna let you give an excuse of like, oh man, our quarterback's down, or oh, this receiver's like, dude, you guys played amazing football this year.
That's a head scratcher though, if I'm honest, just because he did coach DBs in the SEC, you know what I mean? And then to see our secondary play like this.
A lot of this is not a head scratcher, just sheerly from the fact, and this is what's weird, Brian, because you're of the same generation. I do think the game has changed to a degree, to a detriment for a program like FCS. This is not an out for these guys to say, well, because the culture is different in society and in the nature of college football now, I can be different. But that's the reality of what we're seeing on film. It just is. And go ahead.
What the Jacks have an opportunity to do, right? Like, as a program, like, you can be that old school football program that guys love to turn on, because guess what? They care. These dude is not about money to you, right? Like, obviously you're going to get paid, but like, that can't be the bottom line. Like, I can't have a good seat. Like, and I understand sometimes when, you're in a rough situation and somebody's offering you $1 million, like, dude, I'm not going to be mad at you for that. Cause it's like, it's the nature of the beast, right? Like, I can't say I wouldn't go do something like that, but like, it can't be, man, I'm gonna ball out this year and I'm gonna bounce. Like, bro, what kind of dude is that?
100% that, but also it can be both. If you want to ball out by winning, like the collective effort, put individual quality on film, put collective quality on film, increase your stock. If you want options, right? You want options, increase your stock with wins. and then you guys can both evaluate at the end of the year. But here's
Not
the
only
thing.
that,
Go ahead.
but it's completely different going from high school to college, right? They might just watch the huddle tape and it might be all good to go. You know what I mean? But with how much film is out there with PFF, the boys are watching every game, every snap. They're not just watching your little 2-minute highlight drill with the music in the background and all that rah-rah bullshit. They're watching every play, whether you have high effort, if you're executing, are you using your hands the right way? Are you doing what's called?
And people better realize this one thing real quick, Stack. The film that people have put out thus far, they're not looking to add you at a P4 or G6 level to come be the guy from what I've seen on film thus far. They're looking for depth pieces. So you can bite at that money all you want, but the reality is everybody goes to college football to play college football. And you need to take that into account. And that being said, this is a pivotal game this weekend to right the ship. A lot of what we've talked about, we can flush. We got to get to the show. And the show is an at-large bid. And what I've looked at, just to run it through here pretty quick, Youngstown State's got UNI this weekend. They're 7-4 going in. If they get the dub, they're in. They're likely going to get that dub. So that puts them at 8. North Dakota State clinched the bid for the conference. Illinois State's already in at 8 wins plus a couple quality wins, and they've got an FBS loss. So they're in. Number 3, you got USD in there. Number 4, this is the week. It's either UND or SDSU, right? And then Youngstown. So 4 to 5 are going to get in. Make it undeniable this week.
This game's going to be what this is going to be the launching point or what tanks it. And they need to look at it like that. Because, guys, when I was watching this game this weekend, I had turned around and looked at the Dana J, and I saw that 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, all the way to 24. And I was thinking, man, do you really want to be the class that doesn't make the playoffs? Imagine that. You know what I'm saying? And you should let that fuel you because, I know for myself, I would be annoyed if I had some dudes on here that were in the locker room that played in a bygone era telling me, yeah, dude, we would have rocked y'all. Our attitude was different. We wouldn't have went for that. That would make me mad. And that should fuel you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes you say stuff like that and people get their feelings hurt. And they want to subtweet you, man. They just don't know. Bro, no, do something about it. You don't do something about it on Twitter. You do something about it every single play.
Exactly. Talk that talk. That's perfect. I mean, I think the reality is, so I can speak to both ends here because my senior class was the last senior class to not make the playoffs. We had a quarterback quit on us mid-year due to some unforeseen circumstances. And then we had a freshman step up, and he became one of the best quarterbacks to ever suit up for the Jacks, Austin Sumner. And we adapted and we went on a run and won a bunch of games that people probably didn't think we could win given the circumstances. But also I was on the 09 team, the 08 team, all these teams that had real shots, even though we were in the transitional period to make the playoffs. We couldn't make the playoffs. But then in 09, first year we were eligible, we made the playoffs, Coach Rogers' senior year. And we really lit it up. Again, we had quarterback injuries, had to bring in a freshman that year. So everybody can make these excuses. Oh, freshman this, freshman that. Reality is we're in a similar scenario right here. We were in a similar scenario in 19 and lost focus. Sorry, Stack. But the reality is we were still seeded. So
you know who else was a freshman? I don't even need to say it.
Marcus.
Yeah,
Marcus J. Gronowski.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to. You know who else was a freshman that year? Isaiah Davis. Guys, that don't matter. If you a baller, you're a baller when you're 12. It doesn't matter.
It's a mentality.
Yeah, and look, hey, Ron is right. That's really just the standard, right? It's the standard. That's the product we put on the field. And we've been gutted. So, and some positions we're not as deep as we were. So you can't threaten guys yeah, man, I'm going to sit you because I really don't have anybody else I feel comfortable putting out there. But
the secondary is the same. It's the same.
like as a player, bro, like I just gotta have some pride in what I do.
That's right.
Right? Like, bro, this is why you're in school. Like, this is like if somebody asked you, tell me as like when you're in college, right? When you're in college, you're playing football. Someone says, like, yeah, man, tell me 3 things about you. And one of those 3 things are gonna be, I am a college football player. I play Division I college football at SDSU. So if that's what you do, and that's what people know you do, you got to take pride in it. Because if you don't take pride in yourself and your self-identity and who you are. Like, guys, that's what I said. Like, go watch that Montana State film. Like, dude, remember the type of squad you guys were then, the swagger you played with. You know what I'm saying? And not just like our best players. So I feel like, our top end guys have been consistent, right? But
Role players were blocking punts. We had dudes jumping on loose balls. We had all types of stuff like that occur in that game. And that's the only way you get it done. And I don't see where those guys are showing up on film. But there's an opportunity this week.
I'm saying because they still believed, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you believe your own hype and you play different, like
Yes.
they believed it in Montana. Like, they were like, wait a minute. Like, once like the first quarter was over, they're like, wait a minute. Like, they're not blowing our doors off. Like, we could do this. Like, guys, you can do this. Like, and what, they're on their like number 2 quarterback right now, right? UND?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude likes to run. He's been running for a while, beat up a little bit. Guys, you got to be able to, you got to be like my guy, Graham. Like, if you want to win this game, you're going to have to pay with your life. If you want to win this game. Yeah, we got to get the Grambulance out there. If you want to win this game, you're going to have to do it with broken ribs. I'm sending one of these receivers out. Like, you're gonna have to earn it. You gotta make them earn it, and they won't. I'm saying win. I would rather you win than any of them have to earn anything.
Well, we know weird things happen in Grand Forks. We'll get right into it here. UND offense is averaging 35 points per game. They can move the ball pretty well. This season's been kind of weird for UND. Obviously, they almost came out with the upset against Kansas State. And they're known maybe more for that than anything. Also, a weird loss at Montana, which could have changed the complexion of their season altogether. They've also lost to NDSU and USD. They have had their best wins coming against Youngstown and SIU. SIU obviously lost a 5 overtime thriller last week to USD. Is likely out of the playoffs. This one's going to be weird. They're a bubble team, right? Leaning towards out unless they get it done this week. The UND offense is converting on 57% of their 4th down attempts and 43% of their 3rd down opportunities. They've had a change in quarterback with Simon Romfro, obviously the one Grambulance laid the wood to. He's a backup. And then now Jerry Kaminsky, he's started every game this season. So they've gone to him. They've had growing pains. He's played well at times. Obviously, different times he's not. He's completing 60% of his passes for 2,000 plus yards, 23 touchdowns, but he has been prone to turning it over. 8 interceptions on the year. He can move a little bit with his feet too. He's getting about 483 yards when adjusted for sacks, almost 5 yards per carry, and he's got 7 TDs on the ground. Sawyer Seidel is their leading rusher, number 9. He's a sophomore with about 814 yards, 5.4 yards per carry, and 11 touchdowns on the season. He's dangerous out of the backfield too. He can catch the rock, 15 receptions for almost 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. Gavin Zybarth has missed the last 4 weeks, and he's not going to play this week. 5th-year senior backup Xavier Lee is someone to keep an eye on too. He's got 260 yards at 4.2 yards per carry and 1 touchdown. He transferred from Sacred Heart where he had 700 yards rushing. So he is a threat. And he's also, accumulating some yardage through the air with 105 yards on the season, but 13 receptions. So we got to be cognizant of the fact they're going to try to spread the ball around, get it to their backs through the air and on the ground. And then at the receiver position, the star for them is BJ Fleming, number 4. He leads them in every receiving category, 41 receptions, 647 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He's a Northern Arizona transfer. but it's been kind of doing a lot better since coming over from NAU. Nate DeMontignac, 6'3", 195, 26 receptions for 314 yards. And then number 10, Caden Dennis, has also contributed with 17 receptions for 210 yards and a tug. Tight ends, it's a different offense. They want to spread it more to their skill than tight ends. So number 40, Hayden Stay, and then Watson Hafer, number 80. And then true freshman Nathan Ramoka. They're more like sprinkle in accessories after the fact. They got 23 combined receptions for almost 200 yards, but 4 touchdowns. So a lot of those are coming to their big red zone threat. Romadka, if I'm saying that right, Hromadka, 6'6", 230 pounds. So he'll be a force down there in the red zone. So we're gonna have to match up, whether that's Oliver, Ullman, somebody, whether it's our outside backers locking up. Hopefully we're not in that situation, but the reality is we might be. So gotta man up and do what we can. Offensive line has been a bright spot. They've lost a lot of talent through the portal, and they've been poached just like a lot of other FCS teams. But Trace Thaden, 6'8", 295 junior. He's a first-year starter, converted tight end. Liam Betcher, second-year starter, started all 12 games in 2024 at left tackle. Ben Buxa, second-year starter, MVFC all-newcomer team last year. And Aiden Teeter, first-year starter, and then Seth Anderson. He's a fifth-year but fourth-year starting since transferring from North Dakota State. He was an honorable mention last year. Defensively, defense is, they're going to do a lot of exotic stuff with their blitzing, 3-4 defense, pretty much what they mostly run and have run over the past few years. They also run a 4-2-5. That's primarily what they run now because they've moved away from the 3-4. They're allowing less than 19 points per game. Something's got to give because the Jacks have only scored roughly 17 points over the last several contests. Rushing has been few and far in between for competitors. They're only going for 97 yards per game. So look for the Jacks to try to manufacture a run game in many different ways. Maybe things change this week, but with kind of a piecemeal offensive line, who knows what's going to happen due to injury for the Jacks. I think they're going to spread the ball around a lot through the air. If I had to guess, trusting on Jack to get it done. They've done a good job UND has of limiting opponents on their third and fourth down conversions at 30% and 44% respectively. In the red zone, opponents are making hay. They've scored 23 out of 27 times. But that being said, they don't break because only 14 of those have been touchdowns. So they're only converting about 50% with 6 every time opponents get into their red zone. They have a ton of sacks for a UND team, likely all manufacturing, 33 sacks, 5 fumbles, and 12 interceptions. Their defense is pretty stout when you look at the numbers, especially given their schedule with Kansas State on the docket, as well as NDSU and some other Valley foes. Up front, Lance Rucker is really the problem. He's just a junior. He has 7 sacks out of that 33. So almost a little under a fourth of the production going to one man. He's got 42 total tackles, 2 pass breakups, and 4 hurries to go along with it. Opposite him is Caden Vig, 23 total tackles. He's also got 5.5 sacks. So those 2 ends, those are huge for them. He also has a forced fumble. And then they got Montre Samuels Parker, 5'11", 260, and number 97, Logan Eckhart, 6'2", 295. Eckert has 2.5 sacks, and Parker has 1 on the year. Emmanuel, number 88, Emmanuel Olagabaju, key reserve. He's got 2.5 sacks, so he's going to be a problem as well. And then on the edge, Kiwan Vengroski, 6'2", 255, 20 tackles after transferring from Winona. So it'll be interesting because Coach Berge will have some familiarity with him. Linebackers, they fly around, right? 4-2-5 look now, so they're going to have more of a slender body out there, either blitzing or playing that nickel backer. The man who makes tons of plays, Malachi McNeil, from that spot, leads the team in tackles with 66. shows up in the stat sheet in all kinds of ways. Michael Devereaux has 50 total tackles on the year, 4 for loss, 1 sack, 6 pass breakups. They look good, man. Point blank. And they do have some youth on the edge, though. Grant Nolan is a cornerback. He's a freshman. And Bennett Walker. Walker has only appeared in 3 games, but has 9 tackles. And Nolan has played in every game, 37 tackles. So they're showing up in the stat sheet as well with 4 pass breakups. And then at corner, they're pretty thin. Avery Scott and Antonio Blewett, they're out. And then
Hell of a last name.
especially for a corner. But Johnny Wiltshire, he's probably going to go at their slot corner. 44 tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks, 2 INTs. They got some guys on their D, man. It'll be interesting, but that's pretty much the rundown.
Honestly, all jokes aside, you have a senior captain who left this school to come join the Jacks. If there's anybody that you should play for, or if you need somebody to play for or something to play for, you need some motivation. Sam Hagan.
Don't let Sam go out like that, yo.
Yeah.
And if I'm him, I'm giving speech like I'm rah-rah all week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I believe, he's right. He's a captain. Like, that's got someone the guys could rally behind. And I mean, he didn't come to SDSU for no reason, right? And like,
You don't think he would kill to play in that game? Buddy would probably roll out there in a wheelchair. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
They would let him. Yeah.
I mean,
Something's got to give, right? So let's get into our predictions. How are we going to attack them offensively?
offensively,
4-2-5 is tough to pass on, right? And they're going to throw a lot of blitzes at the young quarterback.
And they don't give up a lot on the ground either. So
Right.
I think we're going to have to dig deep.
have
Probably.
you guys ever noticed where our biggest runs spring from, like sidewise, direction-wise?
Left. Wonder why.
Run the ball behind your best offensive lineman.
That's right.
I mean, and that's no shade at no one else, but I mean, like, he was playing at a pretty high level this year.
Yeah.
Like, he's playing at a borderline elite level this year, I'd say.
Oh, for sure.
Like, dude, run the ball behind, and like, it shows up on film. Like, it's not just like every once in a, like, when the ball goes left, we gain yards. So
And it is worth mentioning. Corey Blair's back this week. Hopefully, get a little bit added pop out of the backfield. I don't know how much run he's going to get, but Josiah Johnson, want to see him show up more. I think Lothridge, we've seen what he's capable of at times. I just don't know, if he's got the momentum currently heading into this. I'd love to be proven wrong, but I think the hot hand goes to some of the youth in the backfield.
Yeah, and I think, with the variety of backs we have, that's something that SDSU, like, and some of those better runs we had, like, we were able to give the ball to Isaiah and then just hammer power, and then Pierre, and then you got mid zone, wide zone. Like, let these guys run that. Like, I think Blair is like one of those press the mid zone, cut it back when the DN over pursues, and then out the front gate. You know what I'm saying?
I think he's legitimately got a home run threat to him, which I've seen just from his natural instinct, and he's got a little bit more pop. Basinger's been coming along too, man. We can't shy away from him. Although obviously we were playing completely behind last week. We did sprinkle some shots in, and he made some nice cuts and made some plays. So hopefully he can springboard into this week and off of some of that juice that he's been able to get.
And I will say, Josiah, I got to shout him out, bro. He threw a block that crumpled that dude. Like, it was hilarious. Like,
blocking and his physicality in the run game. I mean, coming over from the previous week against USD. I mean, he's trucking some fools too. So, I mean, I like his ceiling. And that's another thing. We got a lot of youth guys. We've been talking ad nauseum about what's not happened. There's plenty of good things that have happened. The unfortunate thing is it's tied to bad results, right? And it's tied to subpar execution from a couple guys on some plays, one guy on one play. Just do your job and execute and see what happens. Give yourself a chance to win, and don't play from behind by spotting the other team 7 points with poor decisions.
And one thing I do enjoy, right? Because like this is a problem I think I've had for a little bit here. Like I felt like it bled into last year a little bit, where some of these guys had never seen college football adversity before. Because I'm South Dakota State. Like we walk in here, teams roll over. They don't want no parts of us. Like we're blowing dudes' doors off. I get to come in the third quarter, maybe get me a pity time sack. Like this is awesome. Right, like
all for the gram.
Yeah, and now for these younger guys, and it's just reset. Like it's like God's just resetting the team, just flooding the earth one more time. Like, all right, here you go, reset. Right now these younger guys have a chip on their shoulder. Now they don't know what it's like to be big dogs. And like now they're gonna want that name for themselves. And if they stick it out and don't chase the money, like bro, like this team right now could be special.
Yeah.
You know what I think, obviously all is not lost. Like, brother, you right the ship with a game with a one game tomorrow.
Chase comes back for the playoffs. Possibly Hagen. CVT, I don't know his status, but obviously every week that passes is more opportunistic. Lofton Ogrowski.
Play for these guys, to give them a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
To give these guys a chance. For Chase to say, hey guys, I know I've been gone. Let me show you how upset I am that I wasn't able to do this for you all year. Give him that chance, right? Don't say, oh man, Chase is gone, all is lost. Like, no, say here, bro, like this is what we've been doing when you're gone. Here you go. You get to play again. Hand him the football and say, all right, you got it, bro.
Absolutely. It's no players of the game this week. Everybody, it is everyone do their job. That's what it is this week. So no players of the game. Shifting over to defense. What do we want to see?
I know.
Drop their nuts, preferably.
I know for a fact Colin McShane is going to come out and do what he does. I think,
which is
we might be looking at a Grambulance type hit.
I hope so.
Hopefully, yeah. Don't get kicked, big dog. But like,
back-to-back games.
Yeah, bringing the pain. And I think one guy that I seen come along, Jace. Like at first, like I thought, like when he got that 1 second, I was like, he's just kind of. I was like, all right, everyone gets one, but like he's been consistent and like consistently like winning rushes. Like he's surprised. Like from seeing him in person, he's surprisingly like light on his feet, like in pass pro.
Yeah, honestly, crazy dropping coverage, huh?
That's what I was just gonna say, Brian. What do we not want to see him do again?
Dropping coverage.
If he drops
more DB reps than.
If he drops into coverage, Bergie, Brian and I are getting in our vehicle and we are driving to Brookings and we're going to have a little talk because you need to know your personnel, which I know he does, but does he? Because we need to have him rush the passer. Here's the thing. This is what I tweeted this last week during the game. Know your personnel to this point. He is not going to run down someone in a spy scenario. He's not. Right? Even if he has a great angle, that's still going to be a pretty detrimental gain. And he's not going to intercept the pass. Maybe he'll impact a passing lane, but at that point, just have him rush. Yeah. And
he's affecting the game more that way.
Right. And if you want to have someone zone blitz, drop to crosser, drop your end to crosser, something like that, and have them spy. If that's what you're looking for, you can't preemptively be so worried about quarterback run that you out scheme yourself. So let's not do that again. And let's go get home because he did last week.
Yeah, I think Jace, I wasn't a big Jace homer off rip. Because I've just been because he's a little older, and I was like, well, where's this been?
Where's his development?
I believe he's turned into legitimate, probably. Because pass rushers are different, right? So I'm not going to say best or anything like that. Yeah, right. Because he's a true finesse guy, and Logan's a true power guy, which I enjoy, right? You need that dichotomy, right? Because if you're gonna, sometimes Logan's gonna get that middle push and it's gonna stick, or if Logan gets that one-on-one, he's running that dude over. And if Logan gets the middle push, give Jason one-on-one, he's been winning.
Yep, and I don't want to see too much looping of our interior alignment for contain. Because again, they're not going to run down a mobile quarterback. They're just not going to. So those need to get home. Those blitzes need to get home. Our linebackers need to time up the blitz a little bit better, show some finesse when the RB comes to try to fill and get home. And then on the edge with Rip or whomever's trying to keep contain or spill, they need to execute their responsibility.
Bro, we've just seen it happen way too much. Guys, we cannot play hero ball because I've seen on the edge a couple of times, like where, Brian, like where you're watching, you're like, oh, this is cut. And I'm like, why is the DN backdooring this?
Yeah.
Like, and like, bro, like, because I know some of y'all might not think like it's obvious. Dude, I was there with Bert. Like, we've seen it. Like, I know what your defense is supposed to look like. So, like, when you're at a position it cut and it like gets us beat for like 12 yards, I'm like, oh yeah, our DN's just rolling his own here for some reason.
A lot of hero ball.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, like
backdooring reach blocks and like just creating run lanes for days.
Bro, because like there is literally one dude I've seen that can get reached and make that play.
Kobe, that's it.
No, I was gonna say Caleb. Not Kobe.
from the interior, yes.
Yeah, but I'm saying like and even on the outside, bro, like you can't do that. Like it just can't happen because like there's just way too much that can go wrong. Because even if you miss, bro, he's got a two-way go to hit it for like.
That's a great point. Here's a caveat to that. So Kobe has done that against inferior competition, right? And that you can't do that in the Valley play. Like they're too disciplined. They got Scully guys too, and you can't hang your linebackers out to dry like that. And then also linebackers got to be more ferocious when they diagnose run. They're on their heels too much, and then they're catching blocks. Like they got to come off and make the play. There's plenty of good they're doing too. Don't get me wrong. But that's just stuff that shows up on film that's not elite, and they are elite.
You know what, Kyle? We don't have to preface that with they're doing stuff good too. Like, God, you know what you're doing good. We're not here. Like, we be here. We you know what we talk about when we're only the good stuff. When you're Brian's team, and you're blowing these guys out, you're blowing everyone out, and we have nothing to talk about but good stuff.
Exactly.
Like, bro, I don't have to like. Yes, you guys have won games. You have done good stuff, but guess what? As of late. That's not. That hasn't been.
They also, to your point earlier, they need to remember who they are and they need to get it done. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
You have to put it on film. You have to put my bad, Kyle. My bad. I'm being a hater. You have to put good stuff on film, man.
Exactly. So, with that being said, we need to tackle well. Tackle well this week as a unit. Adhere to your responsibilities. Don't hang your teammates out to dry trying to play hero ball, and we'll get it done. Right? Every level, from the chain gang to the LBs. To the secondary. So special teams has to be it doesn't even have to be special. It would be ideal, especially in Grand Forks where all three phases tend to play an impact, but we got to catch our balls when they're lob kicked. We got to not fair catch it when there's running lanes. That bothered me. I just had to get that out. Not fair catch it when we have an opportunity to make a big play in special teams and when it's not coming to you. And then shout out to our, Stater. Stater's been consistent lately. Got to shout that out. And then, it's in a dome. So hopefully that lends itself to more success. And when it comes to our punting game, is Stater filling in there too, doing what he can. Is Max going to be back? Was his pride more hurt? I hope not. I hope he would I hope if you're not coming back to kick and that's your one responsibility, I hope it wasn't your pride. But I also hope he's healthy. I'm not rooting for anybody's injury here.
And for our punt team, we've put it on film too much already that we've let punts get blocked. Brother, UND's whole MO is blocking punts. They are the best there is in FCS at coming after punts. So you put that on film. So you have to pay the price for it. We have to be elite on punt. Being serviceable on punt will get us beat because they're going to throw you something that you have not seen before. Like, bro, these guys want to block that punt just as much as they want to win a game. Like, that's what that is to them. Like, dude, we block this punt, we steal possession, we win.
Amen. Well, gentlemen, we have to play elite defense to win this one, especially given our offensive production. For score predictions, I'm going to go 21-17. It's got to be the good guys with 21. I think that's about our limit unless they shock us.
Yeah, I'm going 23-20, Jacks. Last minute field goal.
17 to 10. The D rises up.
Hey,
Boys get
let's
it
go.
done. Play
In
this
Grand
game.
Forks.
Oh.
Hopefully the Zebras don't show up, man. It's that's always a frustrating one here when we see them play an impact in the game, and it's pretty weird out there these days. Any final thoughts before we dip?
Go Jacks, man. Remember who you are, boys.
That's right. That's right. Get it done. What do you got, Brian?
Just tackle.
That's right.
Act
Tackle,
like
make
you
the
care.
play.
Put the standard back on tape. It's been
Like
a little
Stig
while.
used to say, grab their flesh and tear it, man.
Grab flesh, Coach Stig.
Shout out to the Wild Hair, Brookings, South Dakota. If you're not going to Grand Forks, please get to the Brookings version of the Wild Hair and stay responsibly wild. Make sure you take advantage of those drink specials. Thank you again for sponsoring the podcast. This has been another edition of Friday Night Football. Thank y'all for joining us and sharing it with us. And as always, go big, go blue, go Jacks.
Go Jacks.